Welcome to my channel. I'm Raven and it's November 19th and this is your daily tarot reading. Let's do this, shall we? I already pulled these out because I'm working with a new deck. The Good Tarot by Colette Baron Reed. It's lovely. It's a really compassionate kind of deck and I feel like that's going to come through in this reading today. I had a super inspiring couples therapy session yesterday, which I think all couples should be doing, and it's, I don't know, it just got me thinking of the work of love and the work of being in romantic love in spiritual life. So whether you're in a romantic relationship now, or ever have been in the past, or ever hope to be, I feel, or want to understand other people's romantic relationships, I feel like this will be useful and this will hit home wherever it hits home. So my offering to you, yeah, I did above, below, within. Let's see, above, below, within, which is also kind of part of the dynamic of the witchcraft worldview, the four directions, the four elements, which of course we see here, and then also above, below, within, especially in fairycraft kind of thing. But what that means here is, you know, kind of the ways that the romantic relationship and partnership, though, let's just say the way that partnership pulls us into transcending energies. Below pulls us into our own inner depths and helps with shadow work between the two people and in the world. And then within is just kind of what it means for an individual. So I think that's what it means. Let's discover. So 10 of water, it says here. This is the 10 of cups. And I always like to remind, in the traditional, or in the Rider-Waite, you have, this is the one with the couple and they're holding hands and there's a bunch of cups and rainbows above them, and it's just like the most joyous, happy-go-lucky kind of family-looking situation. Literally, there are rainbows. And on the path of transcendence, for a relationship, we have the 10 of water. And I really love the way that they depict this here as basically compassion in the form of the Buddha, saying that when we get to the end, the 10 of the journey of this suit, of the journey of cups, we have a understanding of compassion, which is what the heart of the element of water is, the heart of emotional life, the heart of also intuitive life, which is also what water represents in the tarot. Pardon my cold. I have a cold. Also, pardon the never-ending construction outside. So, any 10 is going to be sort of the completion of a suit and the completion of those qualities at their fullness, especially in a positive way. And when they're at their fullness, they are in their full expression. And the full expression of emotion and intuition is when we can take our sense of lack out of the way, and when we can take all of the sort of self-limiting beliefs out of the way and just step into compassion. Which, you know, in the image you might be familiar with, when there is a couple standing under a rainbow saying hooray, basically, you know, that's a situation that is only ever sustainable with an advanced practice of compassion. I wanted to read what she says about this because she puts it really beautifully. There's kind of a couple of affirmations that comes with each of these cards. She is Colette Baron Reed. Basically, this is serenity, a serenity that comes from knowing that well-being is your natural state. Yeah, that's beautiful. And the whatever attention I receive or don't receive, I am serene. For I know full well what it took for me to get where I am. I celebrate myself and all who travel the road with me, and feel grateful to Spirit for being my companion always. Right. So, in the romantic relationship, in partnership, Spirit is the companion. Spirit is actually the first person that you wake up in bed with, and the person that you're making love with, and the person that you are, the presence that you are relating to in the beloved. And beloved is a path to Spirit. And I think that this is what this card is saying, especially in this transcendent path. Very interesting monastic. It's what the monastics have done in more of a literal sense, and I think that that's available for any couple to do on a more, in a more sexy sense, thank God. All right, well, so the King of Water, we have in the position of descending. So this is sort of like, there's enlightenment, and then there's working within the manifested world. There's working within the shadow realm. There's kind of working and finding spiritual connection in the deep places of the earth, and in the other things that are manifested around us, the other beings that aren't just, unitive realm God. There's also all the little guys like us and fairies and things like that. So that's the witchcraft way, and that's where I'm from. And in this, we have the King of Water. These are pretty similar in a way, because they both deal with water, and with water in its larger expression. And kings, as I keep saying over and over again, because kings just keep coming up, kings are when the elements within us, and when the various ways that we just kind of interact within ourselves reach a new level of balance. When the air and the water begin to meld and form a bubble. Ooh, I like that. He's got all these bubbles, and this is a very playful King of Water. He's kind of like adoring and noticing this little fish in front of him. So this is inviting and, calling our attention to how when we're in a partnership, the material, the base material for that partnership, when we're talking about the base world and the descending path, the base material for that partnership is emotion, right? I feel like this is calling intuition and emotion together. And this is really kind of drawing attention to the emotional work as being the thing that brings us down to earth, if you will. I know that these kings have a really lovely kind of thing as well. So what the king says, and what we say as we confront our shadows and our partner's shadows, within a relationship is I honor and respect all beings, including myself, and see the commonalities we share in the spirit that is in all of us. And isn't that watery? Water just is in all of us. I listen to other voices and blend them with my own wisdom before settling on opinion, making a decision, or taking an action. So that's where water meets air. That's the blending of these two elements. When you allow this sort of osmosis with compassion to happen within you before making a decision and settling on an action. Action being also in the realm of kings. I gently and lovingly lead others away from fear and divisiveness and into harmonious collaboration. So that's pretty much the work of being in a partnership, the emotional work, right? Leading yourself and others away from fear, divisiveness, and into harmonious collaboration. So what a lovely card to get in the descending place in this reading for relationships. And then within, we have, I need to drink some tea a little bit, I think. Un momentito. So, within, we have the King of Earth. So within is a couple of different things. Like, this is just what part of my meeting my beloved is really just my story, you know? And what part of my meeting this challenge of being in a relationship comes from my internal resources, such as I feel like, for instance, within is kind of all of the skills, and in this case especially the skills of witchcraft and the spiritual path. Where do those things meet the path of being in a partnership? So that is your imagination, your intuitive knowledge, your paying attention and reading, like all of these skills that kind of come from from within. I don't know. Let's see this. So the King of Earth, another king, no surprise. He's kind of depicted as the green man here. I don't know if you can see that. He has leaves for a beard and a stag crown. And so there's a real sense of wildness. You know, the green man is like where the wilderness almost becomes embodied and meets the village, just on the edge of the wood, or during a liminal time, during a festival. This my particular beloved is so wild. She's just has the King of Earth all through her, and this would be the King of Pentacles, the King of Coins, of course. But the kings, of course, as I say over and over in this series so far, are, when these elements begin to meet each other. And in this case, the elements that are meeting each other are air and earth. When this wildness is funneled into wisdom that can be applied and then put forward into leadership. So to see how that jives with our theme, I'd like to read what she says so beautifully. So the King of Earth for our bag of tricks for being in relationship. I have trust and faith in the invisible, and I know I will manifest in the realm of form the way I need it to. it will manifest in the realm of form the way I need it to. The invisible and the earth coming together. Yes, yes. Opportunity can be found anywhere and everywhere because I am competent and committed. I am ready for abundance to manifest now in the world conditions in a form that is aligned with my highest good. Interesting. I feel like this is really bringing it down to earth. That the within in the relationship is maybe just how we show up in paying the bills, how we pay the bills, how we look after our own physical well-being, how we look after the physical well-being of our partner. Yeah. And then I manifest all that I desire, consciously aware of the need to stay focused and grounded in everyday work required. So that skill set kind of ends up being, the within ends up being your resources to stay grounded and focused and do what's required in order to have a decent life, or a halfway decent life, as is the case for most of us, myself for sure. So yeah, that's beautiful. I'm glad you came to visit King of Earth. So this is our spread. This is our spread for the day. Around partnership, around love, around romantic love, around the kind of abundance mindset and diligence and that it takes to show up in like that just physical way, and how that all is sort of like coming from the internal resources of each of us on different levels. You know, we're all showing up at the table with a different set of resources. And then descending, this is how we interface with our dark side as reflected back to us clearly from a partner. You know, this is right after the in love period. That's the period that happens and probably should go on for the rest of your relationship. The King of Water. And the King of Water is just making space for peace, making space for understanding in that, making fear a stranger whenever possible. And look at how playful he is and gentle he is in that. It's so beautiful. And then the Ten of Water is in the ascending path, the transcending. This is just all about the oneness and about God. And Ten of Water is Ten of Cups, when compassion and joy, kind of like this is your trust in the path, I think, is also what she was bringing forth. So yeah, in terms of partnership, I think this is just drawing an underline on having your partnership be a spiritual path. That's pretty much it. You know, seeing the inner Buddha in the beloved and almost making like a romantic devotion out of that. And this relationship to the Buddha in your beloved is what makes these two things possible. You know, transcendent, descendant, and internal within. Above, below, within, my pretties. Well, that's it. Thanks for showing up today. Thanks for visiting my channel. I would love it if you would subscribe. I do all kinds of services, and you can find those links. Many blessings on this day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.